The legacy of MCU television began 2 years ago, and it has been inconsistent.
He almost tasted that. Num num num
You
num.
are way more fun than my last lawyer. I will kill for you, Megan Thee Stallion. Dial it back.
Every series has successfully found a fan base, but as a collective, they have been accused of diluting the overall brand. So to no surprise, we're yet to have any second seasons. But if it's going to happen, might as well do it with their best show yet. My name is Ren, and this is my spoiler-free review of the first 4 episodes of Loki Season 2. Welcome back, MCU fans. Thank you for joining this spoiler-free discussion on what is essentially the sequel to my favorite Marvel series. I wasn't really sure how Loki Season 1 was going to work. Despite Loki being one of my favorite MCU characters, I thought it was risky to take a chance on a deviant Loki from an alternate timeline, but Season 1 endlessly surprised me. It offered rich new layers to Loki's character through compelling themes, a deep thinking narrative. It was overall a show filled with glorious purpose, and ever since the season finale, I have been craving its return. Season 2 throws us right in the aftermath of the shocking season finale, as Loki finds himself in a battle for the soul of the TVA. Alongside Mobius, Hunter B-15, and a team of new and returning characters, Loki navigates an ever-expanding and increasingly dangerous multiverse in search of Sylvie, Judge Renslayer, Miss Minutes, and the truth of what it means to possess free will and a glorious purpose. Now, just like when I did my earlier review for Loki Season 1, I've only seen the first 4 episodes of Season 2, so I will not be offering grades or overall context on the entire show, but rather just my first impressions. Where I loved Season 1 for being a blend of Bond meets Doctor Who, Season 2 doubles down on all those aspects, but takes a much darker approach. Tonally and aesthetically, Loki Season 2 is a sci-fi noir mystery where there's a great balance between Loki knowing more than everyone else, yet there's all the more this unrelenting feeling of hopelessness due to that knowledge. The sense of paranoia conveyed by Loki is dialed up from the start, and it only increases as we, alongside him, put the pieces of the puzzle together, and as the story unravels, it manages to suspensefully engage between dark set pieces and intimate character moments, painting this bleak picture where unpredictability kept me constantly engaged. Whereas Season 1 confronted Loki about his purpose, forcing him to contemplate the meaninglessness of his existence, Season 2 gives us Loki's point of view to explore each of the other characters coping with this overwhelming grief, layering how they see themselves, where in Season 1, all eyes were on Loki, all eyes were judging Loki. Now it paints this beautifully human picture when faced with this horrifying reality, and everyone is going on their own journey of self-reflection. My point is, it's deep, it's compelling, it's sad, but it is still a Marvel show. There's still a lot of fun to be had. There is a fun reversal of roles where Loki now knows more than everyone else and is feeding everyone else information as he is splitting through time and going back and forth, having conversations that complete each other. But he feels all the more lost because of this, and Loki feeling lonely, feeling alone, is what got him into TVA in the first place. What's most interesting about Loki as a character, having gone through this journey so far, he understands he saved himself. So now he feels compelled to save everyone else who, much like Loki in Season 1, feels hopeless and lost. Tom Hiddleston just crushes this new added layer to Loki, and it allows everyone else to play their characters just differently with this new dynamic in between them. Owen Wilson as Mobius, Sophia DiMartino as Sylvie is wonderful. We have to talk about him. Jonathan Majors as Victor Timely. There's just something new added to every character, and it plays a bigger part into who the real villain in this show has always been and continues to be. This constant undercurrent of sadness and emotional bleakness makes Loki Season 2 easily the darkest MCU project yet, while expanding and enriching the themes from season 1. Speaking of expanding, one of the most excellent aspects in the series thus far are the aesthetics. The labyrinthine endlessness of the TVA is scary, yet visually splendorous, with elaborate, vast sets immersing us into the story through creative visuals and wonderful interactions. I can only imagine how fun it was for the camera crew and the actors to work through these sets. It's the perfect marriage between practical and visual effects. I'm sure they used the volume in Loki Season 2, but it blends seamlessly. I cannot tell where the visual effects begin and the sets end. The way characters interact with each other and with the environment around them, the buildings, the props, everything just comes together. And even how they emotionally interact with the environment around them. There's a great moment with Loki looking upon an image of someone he knows and just speaking to himself. And it's a joke for us, but the way it speaks to his character and the journey he's been on up till this point, it's wonderful. And it also allows for tonal shifts to blend very well together, where moments are heavy, moments are somber. There's emotion all through this, and it's extremely dark in the themes it is exploring, but also it allows for real fun to be had, how characters transport themselves from the TVA to 70s London or to 18-somethings Chicago. These wonderful visuals perfectly complement the themes of the story, as there's a compelling sense of powerlessness to everyone, because the series so powerfully depicts the institution of the TVA as the monster, trapping everyone under its grasp, forcing them into a game that must be played by their rules of reality. And so you feel like everyone is trapped, everyone is struggling to find their purpose, their reason to be, their free will, and where you have Loki trying to save everyone, including the TVA itself, for the better, you have everyone else afraid. Sylvie still trapped in that revenge path, going darker and darker, where she wants to kill anyone and everyone that might oppose her chance at living of her own free will. Mobius living in denial, B-15 in complete anguish, and so you have everyone coping with grief in different ways, but all of them showing their true nature. Even Jonathan Majors. He takes an easily, even purposefully annoying character and fills him with such layered sympathy and nuance. I hate what's happening behind the scenes. I hate how it interferes with our shows, with our movies, and I hate how people might have gotten hurt. I hope the truth comes out soon, but it is important for me that I let you know, not only is Jonathan Majors a big part of this show, but he is great in front of the camera. Independently of what's going on behind the scenes that shouldn't happen, it is unfair. He is great as Victor Timely, playing yet again such a radically different version of what is meant to be the same character. He's narratively positioned the same way Sylvie is in Season 1, a tool of the system, marked down to serve an inescapable purpose mandated by the institution that robs him of his free will the same way it robbed Sylvie of hers. This is powerful, compelling storytelling, creating a path where Sylvie must realize she has to trust Victor Timely to be better than he who remains, to trust what Loki believes he could be and not symbolically become the very institution she is trying to destroy, the institution that destroyed her. Sophia DiMartino crushes it. Tom Hiddleston is firing on all cylinders, no joke. This might be his best performance as the character Loki. These character dynamics and understanding everything the characters have been through thus far feels rewarding. There are moments where you have the jokes, but they never take away the integrity of how dark, really terrifying this entire show is in what it's trying to say. It's also a show that feels rather very fast, but very slow at the same time. The first episode, it's all new information. It's establishing the goals for the season, it's laying down the groundwork, and there is a mid-credit scene in episode 1. It's not too big if you miss it. There's a quick recap with it in episode 2, but stay tuned, watch it. You'll have one big question by the end of episode 1, and the mid-credit scene answers it. But it's very much an episode where it takes its time to establish everything, but it is a lot of information. It plays with a ton of the TVA mythology, with just mythology in general, with K. Huey Kwan, who is wonderful in this. He brings so much heart to it, and he plays Ouroboros, the snake that eats its own tail around the world. The symbology is very much there for the entire show. Loki has always been a show that plays with symbolism and criticizes the TVA as this sort of religious institution that controls and seeks to take the power away from the individuals. This is a show that plays more with those notions, but it doesn't take away tonally from the darkness of it all, and that's what I love. It's a little slow to get going. It might feel like it's too much happening consistently. The biggest complaint about Marvel TV shows is that they lose focus, they lose their way. But being 2/3 of the way in, Loki Season 2 has showcased nothing but unwavering commitment to its characters, to its story, to its themes. It's an intense yet intimate deep dive on the nuance of free will versus predeterminism. Wacky, imaginative sci-fi ideas envelop us into the terrifying world of the TVA. But the integrity of the story is found in the emotional depth granted to its remarkable ensemble. Loki Season 2 is the MCU in top form. It's going to be torturous for me to wait 4 weeks for the final 2 episodes. So, with those being my final thoughts on Loki Season 2, it's time for you to start the conversation in the comments below. Share your thoughts on Loki Season 1, share your thoughts on Season 2 thus far, whenever you find this video, if you're watching this show. If you're enjoying this review, I review the MCU all the time. The movies, the shows. I love talking MCU. Or if you just want to talk more movies and TV, this is the place to be. Consider clicking that subscribe button, and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Thank you so much for watching. Very excited to talk Loki Season 2 with you week to week, while we also have LFF. Big shout out to my channel members for always supporting the channel. I'll be back very soon with more videos, so until the next one, love each other and love the movies.